The ARMY world is once again in an uproar. Not because of random rumors, nor because of edited video clips taken out of context. This time, attention is focused on something that feels much more real, more honest, and, according to many fans, too obvious to ignore. It all started with a simple yet meaningful moment when Jimin finally showed a side of himself that had been hidden behind his gentle smile and warm attitude towards Jungkook. In the entertainment world, full of cameras, spotlights, and public expectations, the relationships between BTS members are always under scrutiny. However, the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook, widely known as Jikook, has always held a special place in fans' hearts. It's not just because of their physical closeness or togetherness on stage, but because of the subtle emotions that radiate between them, which often feel too genuine to be called mere fan service. Recently, many fans have begun to notice small but significant changes in the way Jimin treats Jungkook. His gaze is deeper, his smile is softer, and most notably, the way he speaks when mentioning Jungkook's name feels different, more personal, more honest. It's as if there are feelings that he no longer wants to hide. In one much-discussed moment, Jimin was seen speaking in a calm but emotional tone. His words did not explicitly mention relationship, but his choice of words left many people speechless. He talked about trust, about someone who was always by his side when he was tired, and about a sense of comfort that he couldn't find anywhere else. For ARMY, especially Jikook fans, the message felt too specific to be a coincidence. What made the situation even more obvious was Jungkook's reaction. Instead of avoiding or keeping his distance, Jungkook actually appeared to be increasingly protective. On several occasions, he unconsciously placed himself between Jimin and the camera, as if wanting to protect him, not only physically, but also emotionally. Small gestures such as tidying up Jimin's clothes, patting him gently on the back, or waiting for Jimin before stepping forward, became hot topics of discussion on social media. Many wonder, is this just the dynamic of a very close friendship? Or is there something deeper, slowly coming to the surface? Jimin is known as someone who is very honest with his feelings, but also cautious. If he is indeed revealing something, then the way he chooses to do so is with quiet honesty, not dramatic confessions. Longtime BTS fans know that Jimin and Jungkook grew up together. From their stressful trainee days to becoming global stars, they witnessed each other's most vulnerable sides. That kind of bond is not easy to fake. And perhaps that is what makes every interaction between them feel so real, because there is history, there are wounds, there is laughter, and there is trust built over years. The media might call it speculation. Haters might laugh it off. But for many ARMYs, especially those who have followed Jakook's journey from the beginning, these moments feel like pieces of a puzzle that are finally starting to form a complete picture. It's not about labels, it's not about defining the relationship, but about feelings that are obvious to those who are willing to see. Jimin doesn't need to say, "I love him," for people to understand how he feels. The way he is there for Jungkook, the way he shines when he's around him, and the way he is himself without fear, speaks volumes. And perhaps that is where Jimin's greatest honesty lies. In his silence, in his small gestures, and in his courage to no longer completely hide what is in his heart. Is this really a revelation of their true relationship? Or is it just an emotional interpretation from fans who love them too much? The answer may never be completely clear. But one thing is certain, the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook is not something ordinary. And as each day passes, it becomes increasingly difficult to deny that what they have feels too obvious. Continuing this story, public attention is increasingly focused on small details that may have previously escaped the spotlight. Because in a truly sincere relationship, it is often not big words that are the proof, but simple things that happen repeatedly without being noticed. And with Jimin and Jungkook, these details appear too often to be ignored. Some fans have started collecting moments over time. The way Jimin reflexively looks for Jungkook in a crowd, his gaze automatically turning in one direction when Jungkook laughs, and Jungkook's unconscious habit of adjusting his steps to match Jimin's. None of that can be scripted. It's body language born of comfort and emotional connection. Interestingly, Jimin has recently appeared more confident in being himself. He no longer feels awkward showing affection, no longer rushes to pull away or avoid eye contact. Many armies feel that Jimin is in a phase where he no longer wants to pretend to be cold for the sake of his image. If he was previously known as someone who is attentive to all the members, now his attention to Jungkook seems more focused, deeper, and more consistent. On the other hand, Jungkook has also undergone a noticeable change. He, who was once known for being cheerful and spontaneous, now seems more mature and calmer, especially when he is around Jimin. His gaze often speaks louder than his words. In some moments, Jungkook's expression shows pride, security, and seems to say, "I'm here," without needing to be spoken. Many fans believe that if there are feelings developing between them, then they are growing naturally. Not forced, not dramatic. Just two people who understand each other because they have been through so much together. Industry pressure, public expectations, criticism, and exhaustion. All of that is easier to get through when there is someone who truly understands without having to say much. What makes Jikook always feel different is their balance. Jimin with his emotional sensitivity, Jungkook with his sincerity and stable presence. The two complement each other. And perhaps, without them realizing it, that balance is what makes their relationship feel so strong in the eyes of those who watch closely. Of course, not everyone agrees with this interpretation. Some say that all of this is just a form of very close friendship. Others call it high-level fan service. However, the question that often arises in the minds of ARMY is, if this is just fan service, why is the consistency so obvious even when the camera is not fully focused? Why do these small gestures continue to appear in various different situations? Jimin himself once said that honesty about his feelings is important to him, even though he doesn't always express them directly. And perhaps this is his way. Not with grand statements that could spark controversy, but with the courage to remain true to himself, even though he knows that his every move will be analyzed. Jimin and Jungkook's relationship, whatever its definition, is clearly not a superficial one. There is a genuine sense of caring, a warm emotional bond, and a comfort that is difficult to hide. And the more they try to go about their day as usual, the more obvious it becomes to many people that the bond is real. In the end, perhaps what matters most isn't the label or official recognition. For ARMY, seeing Jimin smile genuinely near Jungkook and seeing Jungkook feel at ease when he's by Jimin's side is more than enough. Because love, in any form, often doesn't need to be announced. It's enough to be felt.